Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah.
Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars.
I want to bring in Justin Fenton, reporter for the Baltimore Sun. He witnessed this turn from peaceful to violent this afternoon. He's been on the streets since all of this started. And Justin, I apologize in advance if I have to interrupt you to go live to this press conference. I know you'll understand, but let me just start by asking you, what happened? I mean, we'd all been talking about how there were just little brief moments of anger, but this was so peaceful. Then all of a sudden today it just turned. You were there when it turned. What happened?
I really can't explain it. I mean, earlier in the day, there was reports of there was these social media memes going around, these little flyers saying everybody purge today. And it's a reference to a movie in which there is, a period of lawlessness. And so, frankly, we've seen those go around before. We've seen them go around. We get them forwarded to us from concerned residents, and they say, is this real? And, police tend to beef up their presence downtown, and nothing comes of it. Well, today the climate is obviously a bit different with the frustrations in the community. And so police sent out an incredible number of officers to our downtown area and to the Mondawmin Mall. It was something where there was a handful of students who were at the mall. This is a place where students go to catch buses. There are no yellow school buses in Baltimore. Kids ride public transportation. And so it was unclear whether people were actually participating in this so-called purge, or whether they were simply trying to get home. But police were there in riot gear. Students started throwing things at them, and then shortly after that, we got reports that about a mile south, a police officer was injured, and a police car was being destroyed, and that's when I ran down and sort of got in the middle of everything.
And Justin, in terms of how things are now, we have seen looting now in several stores. Now can report that inside the Baltimore Mall, which you were just referring to, I don't know if you can see this, but Baltimore police say they have reports several people are now inside that mall. They are looting, destroying property. This is according to Baltimore police, the latest that we have. How much looting have you seen, or are you seeing now?
Yeah, I was inside of the area, Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenue, where a lot of this was taking place. And the police had perimeters set up the road and I think to the south. And really people were freely flowing either side. Civilians were driving through, and there was just a sense that you could come to this place and break into stores, and you could set fires, and you could stand on the police car and get a selfie taken, and that's what was going on. And people were coming out with bags of groceries and various things. At one point, it was bizarre that the check cashing place had been broken into, and it seemed like people had sufficiently raided it. And then word must have spread on social media or something that this was a place that you could break into, because like 200 people rushed it all at once. I had a group of self-identifying Crips gang members who were protecting me, saying that I wasn't safe. I ventured away from them at one point to take a picture, and a man with a hoodie pulled tight over his face approached me with mace. He told me to kick it out. He wanted my cell phone, and he sprayed me in the head. And I retreated back to my safe spot where I was with a store owner who had a shotgun protecting his property.
Wow. Just to give us a sense of how dangerous it is, and also the point that Justin's making, everybody, and I think important to emphasize that a lot of the gangs have been on the streets, they say, trying to impose their own sorts of order, but playing a very significant role in this. Right now, you're looking at pictures of looters going into the Baltimore Mall. I just told you that police had reported there were people in there looting. Now you're looking at a live, actually just moments ago, I'm sorry, this was about 5 minutes ago, that this picture was taken.
The mayor of Baltimore, Maryland, has come out and admitted that the police stood down and let the rioting looters attack police cars, attack businesses, attack other vehicles, and attack reporters and citizens. And then the police were caught by the Associated Press being ordered to target legitimate reporters because they didn't want them there to show that there was a stand down. And the spin is, oh, let people riot, they let off steam. No, that's how you cause, it's well known in mass movements and mob psychology, that if you let a riot get going, a lot of times it gets out of control. And anybody knows that. It's like a fire. You let a fire get going, it can spread. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You put it out, unless you want civil unrest. Quite frankly, over abortion and then going after our guns and open borders, we legitimately could have civil unrest right now. But it shouldn't be shops and random police cars or shooting cops in the head who are just as dumbed down as the general public. Civil unrest ought to be against the actual controllers, the usurpers. Let me just bring a point up here. In Operation Valkyrie, did the German officers go after a cop in the street? Did they go break a window out of a cafe? Did they mug a reporter? No, they went after Adolf Hitler. Now, I'm not advocating going after Obama because he's a puppet and a front man. But the public's so dumbed down, I have to destroy that demigod, that front man, that branding. Like NBC was branded by Brian Williams. He was their face. Obama is the face of the liberal fascist. Oh, by the way, there's a video clip I forgot to give you guys. Ted Cruz came out and branded them liberal fascist. That is exactly what they are, because they're not liberals at all. They're fascists by every real indicator. So is the Republican Party leadership. George W. Bush has broken his silence and come out and attacked Obama. That will only make Obama's numbers go up. And then when he attacks Hillary for his brother, he's so hated, that'll make Hillary look good. And that's exactly what they're planning. The Clintons and the Bushes are as thick as thieves. They always have been. It was George Herbert Walker Bush, when he was the head of the CIA, that was the handler of Hillary and Bill. I've had former top CIA folks on to break that down. We know both were in the CIA, based in London, while George Herbert Walker Bush was the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Under who? Under Richard Milhouse Nixon. The fix is in, boys and girls. The fix is in, unless we realize there's a fix. And the polls across the board show everyone is sick of the Bushes and the Clintons. It's all going to be documented today. Stephen Hawking says humanity won't survive another 1,000 years unless it escapes Earth. Physicist Stephen Hawking warns. New video shows Tennessee cops and National Guard in riot control exercise. And everybody has to take vaccines in Australia but the Prime Minister. Video shows Tennessee cops and National Guard in riot control exercise, civil unrest training, now taking place once a month. There's a massive escalation of this. And when you hear them chanting on these videos from California and other states, they're trying to take on veterans that announce themselves as patriots, as gun owners, as sovereign citizens, who won't take forced inoculations. Simply amazing. U.S. National Guard drills in public aimed at dealing with domestic dissidents. We're going to play a special report with Paul Watson on that front. Meanwhile, Baltimore mayor, space was approved to those who wish to destroy. We have that video. Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake made a stunning admission Saturday Baltimore mayor said that they allowed them to basically loot and destroy after a citizen was killed by police. We don't know the details. Obama is sending a representative to the funeral, trying to stir all of it up. Let's go out to break with the mayor and the stunning admission.
I worked with the police and instructed them to do everything that they could to make sure that the protesters were able to exercise their right to free speech. We also gave those who wished to destroy space to do that as well. And we worked very hard.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Baltimore riots 2015. Now, I'm not going to cover a whole lot in this because there's really not a whole lot to cover. This isn't about a white cop shooting a black guy or killing a black guy or none of that stuff. This is all propaganda. This is all preparing the American people for the rise of the police state, the coming of martial law. They pretty much had martial law in Baltimore, although they didn't use the words martial law. It's the rise of the police state. They let them loot and riot and destroy just so they could film it and have the American people accustomed to there being police officers on every corner. There being that much of a law enforcement presence. It's the end game. It's the beginning of the end game. It's the coming of the police state. We will protect and serve the shit out of you, so to speak. That's really all there is to cover here. It's all propaganda. And if you can't see that, then you're ignorant. Very ignorant. Very, very, very ignorant.